Welcome to the Flight Club Podcast, a woman's guide to leaning out. We give you a behind-the-scenes look at business launch and growth through the stories of successful female entrepreneurs. Here's your host, Felina Hansen, founder and CEO of Hera Hub.
Hello and welcome. I'm excited today to speak with Carla Burdt. She is a clinical hypnotherapist and motivational speaker specializing in relationships, sexuality, and intimacy. Her goal is to provide a non-judgmental and inclusive atmosphere for her clients to explore the various aspects of their sexuality and relationships in a supportive and collaborative way. Working with clients, she helps to build self-awareness and resolve deeply ingrained issues surrounding relationships, sexuality, and intimacy. Welcome to the show today, Carla.
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am excited to get to know you better as well. You are a Hera Hub member here at one of our newest locations in Southern California, Temecula. If folks listening don't know Temecula, it is our Southern California wine region. But I know you're originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Talk to us about some of the early decisions you made in your career. And as we launch into that, I just want to pause. I know you spent a good portion of your career serving. Thank you for your service in the U.S. Navy. Was that a decision, kind of a right out of high school decision?
It was. I was starting my senior year, and I was never a great student. I was okay in school, and I knew I wasn't ready for college, and I knew I wanted to travel. And obviously that takes a lot of money. And I just happened to talk to someone about the Navy, and it sounded super exciting. And so about a month after graduating high school, I left for the Navy.
Wow, my goodness. And now that decision, which is a big one, but I love that you made that decision. I also was not the best student in high school, so I can totally relate. Was that something your family was excited about for you?
Not at all. No.
Oh, okay.
It surprised everyone so much because it just doesn't suit my personality. I've never been like this really strict, rule follower. I've always been a good kid. I was a good kid, but it really surprised everyone.
Interesting. Okay. So talk about some of your early career in the Navy. Where'd you go? What'd you do? And I know you got several degrees along the way as well. So talk about that too, please.
I did. Yes. So I spent 22 years in the Navy as a journalist and then later as a public affairs officer. And I spent most of my career deploying on humanitarian missions, responding to global crisis. I've been to the most amazing countries. And shortly after joining the Navy, I realized that I was ready for school. So they had so many opportunities for college. So I got my first bachelor's from the University of Maryland while I was stationed there. And later got another bachelor's from Liberty University in art education. And then shortly after, I got my master's from Liberty. So even though I wasn't ready for college starting out, it was something that I realized that kind of on my own terms, if it was something I was fascinated about, I could jump into it straight away.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of those experiences and adventures you had throughout your 22 years.
Oh my gosh. There are so many, and there's some, obviously over 22 years, you accumulate all these experiences and all these wonderful things and the places you go and the people you meet. But I think the thing that stands out the most to me is I spent Christmas in 2004 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which was amazing. I was deployed with an Army civil affairs team, and we were going to all these remote villages, and I met some of the most amazing people that obviously I would have never had a chance to meet before. And it was the most absolutely incredible experience. It made me a completely different person. And it sounds so cliche to say that it changed my life, but it really made me realize how much we all have in common, as it showed me the humanity in everyone and how we're all like genuinely connected. And the people that I met showed so much love and so much care that I was so inspired. And then about a week after that was the tsunami in Indonesia. So I was flown from Ethiopia to, I forgot where I was flown to.
I know so many places, I'm sure.
Yes, and it was all just such a blur. But right after the tsunami and the earthquake, I was with Navy humanitarian teams that were rescuing and providing resources to people on the ground. So I spent about a month there. So I think that was such a pivotal time in my life where it was this amazing, enriching experience. And then I went to this place where it was absolutely heart-wrenching and just broke my heart into so many different pieces.
My goodness, I can't even imagine. Did you happen to keep track of how many countries you went to? This is always the question I like to ask people who have traveled a lot.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I should, because I spent 4 years working for NATO. So I got to travel all through Europe on NATO's dime, which was very nice. I feel like I need to take like an hour and sit down and count all the countries because there's so many.
I know. I actually noted them in the back of my passport at one point on one of my trips I was on. I was like, okay, I've got some time to kill. Let me write this down. Awesome. So talk about, it looks like you came back, or you were stationed back here in San Diego towards the end of your 22 years with the Navy, Director of Public Affairs. At what point, Carla, did you say, you know what, this has been an amazing career. Again, thank you for your service. What point did you say, hey, I think I need to, or I want to transition?
Oh gosh, it was such a tough decision because I loved everything that I did. It was something that I was able to put my heart and my soul into, and I love connecting with people. And I realized that that was something that made me feel good. It was something that kind of filled my cup. So I also felt like my career had run its course, and that I had done everything that I could reasonably do within a career. And I saw all the amazing young men and women coming into the military and the things they were doing. And I realized that maybe this just, I'm a little older now and I'm going to leave that to them. And I felt called to do something else, something I could put my heart into. I love helping people. And it was a super tough decision because it was all I had known. I had 22 years from the time that I had graduated high school. I had spent in the military. And it's so funny when I talk to people about the military, because they're like, oh, it must be like super strict and super serious. And it's really not. It's a really great environment. I had an amazing experience. I felt like I was always supported. It's everybody, I don't know. I think everybody that I met had this very like G.I. Jane kind of impression of it, that it was like tough all the time and it was so strict, but it was such a great environment, which made it even harder to leave.
Yeah, I mentioned to you before our interview today, my boyfriend's career military as well in the Navy, and he describes it as a family, which I really love that description.
That is so accurate. And I think that is such a beautiful way of putting it. And it is, and it has to be, because we spend so much time away from home, and the people that we're deployed with, the people that we work with, we spend holidays and we spend birthdays, and we come to celebrate these very special, intimate times in people's lives, and it becomes like family.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I do want to talk about that transition, because for you and millions of others who then make that choice to leave the family, so to speak, that must be, not only the decision-making leading up to it, but maybe describe a bit of that feeling when your last day or the day after your last day, and then you went and launched a business, which is incredible. And we're going to get to that in a second, but describe those feelings a bit, if you would, Carla.
Oh my gosh. It was, the only way I can describe it is I felt everything all at once. It was so much emotion, so much heartbreak, so much excitement. There were so many positive and also so many very heart-wrenching moments where I felt so conflicted. I was excited for the future, but it was closing the door on something that I had put my heart and my soul and my life into. I had raised my kids in the military. It's where I met my husband. It became such a part of who I was. But I definitely think that the universe kind of sends us the people that we need. And even though I've been out for a short time, it's been great keeping in touch with the people that I worked with. And I have friends that I was stationed with 20 years ago who I still keep in touch with. But it was exciting to be able to just kind of chart my own path from there and just kind of start out on my own and say, what am I going to do? And know that there was this blank canvas in front of me.
Yeah, that's exciting. So how did you choose hypnotherapy?
Oh gosh. I think hypnotherapy chose me. I've always loved helping people. And I was reading a book and it was talking about past life regression. And I love all those things. And I started becoming more fascinated in it. And I was reading about it. And I was looking for a hypnotherapist locally. And his website took me to this hypnotherapy school. And I originally did it just because I love going to school and I love learning stuff. And I never planned to start my own hypnotherapy business. But once I started doing it and I realized that I was so passionate about it and it had so much power to help people in such profound ways. And then I started seeing a hypnotherapist myself, and I experienced so much healing from so many different things that had happened over the years that I felt like it would be a disservice to the world if I didn't share that.
I love it. I love it. And you found Hera Hub along the way. So hopefully we can fill a bit of that family gap of having that community. So let's get back in. We teased it in the intro, some of the areas that you focus on in your business and why you chose those areas.
Yes, I think relationships are such a huge part of who we are. They shape us, they affect us so profoundly. And there's very few resources that I have found that are truly credible for having those safe conversations, exploring different aspects of relationships and different aspects of sexuality and intimacy and how we connect with people. And it's fascinating how people connect, but it's also very sad about the traumas in our past and how we bring those into relationships moving forward. And it shapes the dynamic. And if I had to distill everything that I do down, it's just finding acceptance where you are. And when people realize that they're loved and supported exactly where they are, they can thrive in the absolute best way.
I love that. I love that. So how has the entrepreneurship journey been over the last year, and anything you've learned along the way that you'd like to share?
It was very tough starting out. I had no idea where to go. And I just kind of felt lost. And I don't know how I found Hera Hub, but it was what truly launched my career. I felt kind of aimless when I started out. I didn't know where I was going. And it has given me so much purpose and so many connections with people who have done what I want to do, started businesses, have been successful. And I've met so many incredible women who just have a heart for helping people and connecting. And like you said, it's given me that sense of community and family that I really missed from the military. And I love that there is a place for women to connect and empower each other, and in such a loving and positive environment.
Awesome. Well, I am certainly glad that you found us. Talk a little bit about, some of the things you're looking forward to in your business in the next, 6 months to a year or so as you continue to grow.
Wow, after going to all like the sub hubs and all the meetings, I have so many great ideas that I'm just so thrilled for where things are going. My next step in the business, obviously, is to continue seeing clients one-on-one. But I would also like to start hosting workshops for couples and for newly divorced men and women to just kind of regain that confidence of where just helping them kind of get back on their feet with their emotions and self-confidence.
So needed. I want to step back here one sec, because I'll be honest. I mean, I have a sense of what hypnotherapy is, but how, maybe just in the simplest terms, you can explain it, and maybe they're tandem. So stop me there, but the idea of, someone looking for support, when would they choose maybe more, what would, I've air quotes here, traditional therapy, hypnotherapy? Are they similar? Are they different? How so?
Hypnotherapy is really great for healing people in relationships, coming out of relationships, because so much a part of who we are resides in our subconscious mind. And it's something that we're not even aware of, because it's that 88% of the mind. So 12% is your conscious mind, 88% is the subconscious. And that's where our programming, our habits, all these things that make us who we are, that's where those are deeply seated. And what hypnotherapy does is it bypasses that conscious mind and targets those things that we don't really love about ourselves and really want to improve on. So it targets those and changes how we cope with things and how we respond. If you've ever been driving along and you're home and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how I got home. My mind blinked. That's exactly what hypnotherapy is. You're completely awake. You're completely aware. You know what's going on. You can hear everything, but it just turns off that conscious mind and just allows positive suggestions to kind of come in and change how we respond.
Awesome. Well, if folks want to learn more about your hypnotherapy practice and you, Carla, what's the best place for them to go?
My website, www.hypnocarla.com. That's Carla with a C.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Carla.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining this week's episode of Flight Club, sponsored by Hera Hub. We look forward to sharing more success stories with you soon.